Speaking of needing to learn how to move on, next story is when I made the mistake of lowering my Tinder age to 23. I am only 26. I am not that much older than that, but I hadn't really given guys who were like my age or slightly younger a chance in a while, so I figured, why not lower my minimum age to 23? And I meet this guy, what are we gonna call him? I should have thought of the names ahead of time. Austin. So I meet this guy, Austin. Again, seems super interesting, has a lot going for him. He is also a jiu-jitsu fighter. I don't know what is up with the jiu-jitsu fighters on Tinder, but I swear it's like everybody either fishes or is a jiu-jitsu fighter or both. Like, what is that? Tinder should include that in their branding now, like meet fishermen who do jiu-jitsu. So anyway, he just seems like super sweet. He's really, really nice. We're really hitting it off. Day of our first date comes around. He's texting me throughout the day and then slowly starts to reveal that he's not feeling well. I was like, oh no, like, can you still make it tonight? And he's like, haha, I'll see. Okay. So I decide, since I live kind of far from where we were gonna meet up, I'm just going to stay at the office late. I'm just gonna work late, maybe grab a beer while I'm waiting for him, whatever. I'm waiting. I've been done with work for like 2 hours. I had a beer, I'm still waiting. I text him, ask him how he's doing. He's like replying to me, but not really saying anything about the fact that we have a date that night and the fact that we're supposed to like meet up that night or anything. Finally I realized I'm being blown off. I should have just realized it before, but like, not to sound conceited because I have the worst luck in dating, but I've just never been blown off on a date before. It's never happened to me, so I didn't know, like, I didn't know that it was gonna happen. So finally I just texted him and I was like, hey, sorry you weren't feeling well, let's like reschedule to later because clearly you're not gonna fucking make it. Honestly, I was pretty fucking pissed because I wasted all this time waiting for this dude to come meet up with me, waiting for this like man-child to meet up with me, and he just like never even had the guts to tell me he was just gonna like not come. So I was kind of pissed, but whatever. I have a bunch of other Tinder matches. Like, I'm going on I think I was like already planning on going on another date like the next night. I didn't mean for any of this to make me sound conceited. I just like honestly was like playing the game hard. I was like going out on as many Tinder dates as possible because I was having fun, whatever. It was like super fun meeting new people and like figuring out what I liked, what I didn't like, seeing what was out there, like whatever. I was having a good time. No shame in the game, right? I don't know, maybe there is, whatever. So I didn't totally write off Austin. I was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know, maybe he's not that into me, or like maybe he is weird in some way. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna like pursue some other options. So as I'm pursuing other options, he's still like texting me regularly. He's like trying to start a friendship with me, and not to be rude or like sound callous or anything, but like, I have plenty of friends. I was not on Tinder to make friends. If you met friends on Tinder, or if you are on Tinder specifically to make friends, that is awesome. Actually, I know plenty of people who have made really good friends on Tinder, and like, I'm super happy for you, but like, that's not what I was looking for, and I was really upfront about that. So like, I don't know. I'm not gonna shame him for trying to be my friend, but I just wasn't really interested. It wasn't like really my thing. And also it was like super not my thing for him to also be like kind of still trying to date me, but being really not confident about it. In addition to these stories being entertaining, I hope that they're kind of like educational, I guess. So like with the story with Freddie before, like if you're seeing that someone is lying to you about like really petty details, just like leave that situation right away. It's not gonna work out. And then also with Austin, it's like if someone blows you off or does something similar to that that upsets you, like you can say something about that. I should have said something about it, but I didn't. And then also with this story with Austin, if you are not confident in yourself and you like really dislike a lot of things about yourself and you don't think that you're good enough for people that you see on Tinder or whatever, like obviously you're gonna see people where you're like, oh, they're out of my league. Burr, burr, burr. If you're dealing with some serious confidence issues, that's fine, we all go through that, but like you need to figure that out before you start dating people because it's super unfair to you and it's super unfair to anyone that you try to date to rely on them to like build up your confidence. It's also just extremely unattractive and you're not going to have any success in dating if you're constantly like being really difficult on yourself. And if you do have success in dating, I'm sorry to tell you, but like the people who are going to be interested in you when you're so hard on yourself are not people that you want to be with. They're probably going to be really manipulative. They're just like not going to be good people.
Goodbye.
Apparently Austin was not familiar with this concept because he just absolutely hated himself from the sound of it and was like constantly texting me saying like how I was too good for him, how he has no idea why I would ever be interested in him and all this, and I'm like, all right, like it's one thing to try to like compliment me and say like, oh, you're way out of my league, but also that's like not a compliment that works on me. I like people who are like confident in themselves and who like themselves, I don't know. Oh, and just to like sour up the situation a little bit more, also it was like not super pleasant to get texts in the middle of the night all the time, literally begging me for nude pictures, like begging me. It was sad. It was really just like really sad and I feel sad about it. I think the fact that I felt bad and the fact that I perceived Austin as being like a good person, and also since he was younger than me and I kind of understood some of the struggles he was going through, because I remember being 23 and kind of being like, what am I doing with my life? Like I get it, I get what he was going through, so I didn't tell him to go away right away, and that was also my bad, so learn from me. But this part right here is where this becomes story time worthy. So during the weeks or months or whatever after Austin blew me off on our first date, I met Anthony. So for anyone who doesn't know, Anthony is my boyfriend. I also met him on Tinder, but Anthony and I hit it off right away. I'm not gonna say that I like knew right away that I'd be totally in love with him or whatever, but like I felt like there was something there and I wanted to pursue it. So we went on our first date and I was super duper into him and I wanted to see if there was anything there. So when Anthony asked me out on like a romantic getaway weekend, which was also a huge good sign for me, I was like, hell yeah, I'm into it. My conversations with Austin were kind of like dwindling down. I didn't even know him. I didn't know if he was even like worthy of all the nice things that I would say to him. And we just like didn't really talk as often. I thought that we were just kind of like letting it fizzle out because clearly it didn't work out and clearly we were both looking for relationships on Tinder and that's not where that was going. He texted me again sometime in between when Anthony and I went on our first date and when we decided to go out on this weekend together. So I told him straight up just because I knew he was still interested in me and also I kind of just wanted to like cut the whole thing off. I was just like, hey, I met someone, I'm really interested in him, I'm gonna be pursuing this, like, sorry, whatever, this isn't gonna work out. I think we both knew this wasn't gonna work out. Like something, whatever you say in those situations. I thought I did a pretty good job of being like, no. He texted me again and I was like, hey, this weekend I'm like going on like a getaway with the guy that I'm now dating. Again, I really like him. I am pursuing this, so of course, Anthony and I, we get in the car, we drive up to New Hampshire. We're ready for our romantic getaway in New Hampshire and we're like driving up there and I start getting texts from Austin, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I told him the days that I would be going on this trip, and it's not like I hid the fact that I like met other people on Tinder from Anthony. I think I had actually even specifically told him the story about Austin. Actually, yeah, I definitely did. He definitely knew who Austin was. So it was like, it's not like I was like hiding anything from Anthony, but like, I'm here trying to figure out if this person is like someone I really want to seriously pursue a relationship with, and I'm pretty sure that's the direction it's going in, so I would like to concentrate on that and not some like rando from Tinder that I told I was uninterested in like weeks ago. Dude, throughout the entire weekend, I was getting so many texts and Snapchats from him all night, and then the whole next day, I was so pissed. I just ignored my phone because again, it's like, that's not what the point of the weekend was supposed to be. I had something I was trying to concentrate on. I was super not interested in talking to this dude. It was also like dawning on me how pissed I was about the fact that he had like begged me for nude pictures when like we didn't have that type of relationship at all. He just assumed like, since I'm a woman he met on Tinder, suddenly I owe him pictures of my body. Like I was so done with him. I finally realized like, no, this is not a nice person. A nice person wouldn't do this. Just because he's like super down on himself all the time and has really low confidence and I feel bad for him doesn't mean that I get to like put him on this pedestal and pretend that he's like this nice, innocent little boy who needs help. Like, no. He's an asshole. Austin, if you're watching this, you're an asshole and you need to learn when to move the fuck on. I'm sounding a lot more like mad than I actually am. I just don't really talk about these experiences anymore because they're not significant to me anymore, but I am not actively upset anymore. I just like think that these dudes need to learn boundaries. I think that they need to learn to listen to people and take a hint, and I think in these situations I gave both of them way more than a hint. I was pretty specific about what I did and did not want from them, and they went against my wishes, so yeah, I get it. It's hard to read people's signals sometimes, but when someone is telling you like, stop contacting me, or I am not interested, or I am not interested and I am also actively pursuing someone else, yeah, it's just like, not really a good look to keep going after that. I'm just gonna point that out, just gonna put that out there. So, you know, not really a good look. So yeah, ultimate conclusion to the Austin story is that not too long ago, probably about a month or so ago, he texted me again out of the blue, and I just ooh, sorry, it was a little spicy. I basically said I didn't understand why he was speaking to me anymore, and told him that his behavior was problematic and that I had already explained to him in the past why his behavior is problematic. And then I think I tied up the end of it by saying like, have fun talking to all of your friends about how much of a bitch I am, and then I blocked his number. This ain't my first rodeo, kids. I know what happens when you actually lay down the law with people who have boundary issues, and somehow, no matter how I try to do it, I am always like a bitch or crazy. I'm crazy. Oh, look at me. I don't want men harassing me that I'm not interested in. Oh, I'm crazy. Okay, maybe I'm a little bit crazy. I love story times on YouTube. I love listening to them. I know it's like so 2013, but I have a lot of fun recording them too. If you guys like these stories, let me know. If you want to hear some actual Tinder horror stories, I do have a video going up on Friday of me narrating real horror stories about Tinder, not just silly stories from my own life. So stay tuned for that, and also if you are only here for my narration videos, you can just pretend that the last like 20 minutes didn't happen. Okay, bye!